It's Thursday, the 29th of January. The time is 10 o'clock, and welcome to the new 2026 DrayTek offering in 45 minutes. Presenters on the call today are myself, Peter Convy, one of the channel account managers, and Doris, Vincent, one of our esteemed solution architects. Just a quick run through of the agenda, and apologies for those partners who regularly attend DrayTek webinars and partners that have been with us for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. There will be 8 to 10 minutes at the beginning just to review the legacy and the history of DrayTek before we get on to the really exciting stuff. So last webinar we talked about the changing face of connectivity, and we're looking at security threats this time. During the presentation we have 3 sneak previews for you that will be happening this quarter, so hopefully you'll stick around for that. We'll get into a portfolio update where we'll cover off routing, switching, access points, that's the one to watch, central management, and then a live Q&A. So if you've got any questions, please ask them in the background and we'll get back to you. There is also an offer around demonstration of ACS 3, so you have to hang around to the end to see this. So, quick look at the history of DrayTek. Formed in 1997 by Convy, and within the first year we saw the first product coming out of the business, which was the world's first ISDN terminal adapter. I actually met somebody a couple of days ago that remembered this, so that's really good to know. But a number of different things have happened over the years, real milestones for DrayTek. So the Viger 3300 2004 was our first multi-WAN load balancing router. 2011 was the first version of DrayTek ACS remote management, so we've been doing this some time. And then in 2017, I think I remember it well, I was here, the first 4G LTE failover router, and we've continued with that theme from 17 to 21, 24, 25, as we've introduced a wider range of LTE type failover products and of course multi-WAN products to where we are here today in 2026 and the products we're going to discuss. But it's all about quality. For those people that don't know, you on the call, maybe first time seeing DrayTek. DrayTek only make products for DrayTek. We own all the intellectual property rights, patents and copyrights in all the products. We even have our own code on the units, which is called DrayOS, DrayTek operating system. And the current version we are releasing now is DrayOS 5. And there will be subsequent webinars to go through the differences between the different operating systems. But really for DrayTek, it's all about quality, components pre-tested, pre-production, during production, extreme testing, cold and heat, and even before shipping. So this is all about DrayTek, robust, secure, reliable solutions, and we still have people out there that have had units for 10 years plus. The UK is the most established region for DrayTek. The UK started in 1998, and which is why we have a lot of influence on the factory, and DrayTek UK and Ireland is responsible for over 65% of DrayTek worldwide sales. We have over 12,000 customers and well over 3,500 resellers, with more joining every week. Of course, we wouldn't be a vendor in this space without winning lots of awards, and actually to win the CRN awards for 2 years in a row was no mean feat. I'd waited many years for this, so that was really good news. You can see here a plethora of awards. Last year, again, very proud to receive from PC Pro the best router manufacturer. And every time we engage with a partner, you can see on the right hand side, would you buy DrayTek again? 99%. So some really good numbers here, and a really fantastic loyal DrayTek community of partners and end users. Some of our customers, the big one on here obviously is National Lottery. Whether you know this or not, DrayTek is now in every kiosk, supermarket, corner shop. Failover solution, should the primary connectivity fail, it flicks over to 4G. You can imagine if the National Lottery can't transact, it becomes a real problem. And that's the same for many other of these customers here. National Lottery, at last count, it was over 55,000 locations in the UK and Ireland. And so, yeah, great customer to have, and a great solution. The rest of the customers on here all have multiple locations, covering one of my favourite topics, which is food. Greggs, Pizza Hut, and of course Wetherspoon. So multiple locations, just like the National Lottery. There is a set standard for the network in each location, and then that is rolled out. So, changing face of security. This is going to be a really interesting one. We ran this a couple of days ago just to get some feedback, and there were lots of nodding heads, so I'm pretty sure we're on the right track. Just like before, when we ran the changing face of connectivity, we picked the year which was 2022. We were coming out of COVID, and obviously everything that entailed. And what did the security threats look like in 2022 versus where we are today? It's an ever-changing environment. But quick snapshot, 2022, over 39% of all businesses experienced some kind of attack. We also had the rise in ransomware, and that continues to grow. Social engineering wasn't as prevalent as it is today, but really the solutions to what was going on in 2022 was increasing security at the perimeter, building strong firewall defenses, and increased endpoint protection. Right, so endpoint protection, laptops, maybe your mobile phone, bring your own device. That's great. We're all protected. Not really, because as we get into 2026, we see the real drive in smart businesses, smart homes, new types of attacks around IoT, Internet of Things, being driven by AI. So yes, we need to protect the perimeter, and we need to protect attacks externally coming into the business. But what's going on inside your business, or inside your home for that matter? Do we trust the devices that we install? I have over 54 devices in my home network alone. So I wonder, is there a solution for this? Let's just take a look at some of those devices. Common Office. When was the last time you updated the firmware on the printer? Does it still connect? Exactly what is it doing? That's been in some time, right? Then you have your coffee machine, your dishwasher, too many items to mention. And this is core technology. This is what is present in regular businesses. What happens if your printer wakes up one day and forgets who it is and decides to call home? But home is not where we expect. And that's the same for a lot of these devices that don't have endpoint protection. They are vulnerable. They are continually connected to the internet. So this is an internal threat now. On top of this, we have all the IoT devices, smart sensors, smoke alarms, passive infrareds, security cameras. They're all connected to the network. So what do? Introducing first sneak preview of the day, Viger Shield. Viger Shield is actually embedded to some of the new DrayTek routers. So I don't expect you to remember the model numbers and make the connection between them, but as an example here, we've got the 2136, it was released last January. It's a multi-gig router, 2.5 gig, and the 2767s, which is the DSL Ethernet routers released in Q4 last year. These devices are going to come through with Viger Shield Sentry. And you can see on the right-hand side, looking at the pyramid, exactly where Viger Shield Sentry sits, really around small to medium-sized business, the prosumer. And then on the new products, which we're about to discuss, the 2867 and the 2928, more enterprise-style routing with very high connectivity options. This is going to protect both externally and internally your business. It's using this through learning capability. It's using this through zero trust from day one, whilst it understands exactly what's happening in your network and what's not. Here's an example, right? I've been fortunate enough to be running this for quite a few weeks now. Here comes Christmas Day. We've got a new Google TV. My wife switches on the TV and then complains bitterly that there's no internet. Well, of course, there is internet, but what's happened is it's the first time this TV has really been used. And the first thing it wanted to do was to connect to a number of third-party apps and cookie registrations, data sharing. And VigaShield picked up on this. It saw it as unusual activity and it quarantined it. So that's from a home user perspective. If you'd like to see VigaShield in action this quarter, please use your camera, take a quick picture, request your demo, and we'll be in touch and we'll run a webinar on this product. Few snapshots now. Obviously, I'm Peter Convy, so you know it's real. These are just some of my devices. This was day one before VigaShield started to categorize exactly what these devices were. So we had a section for access points, routing, VoIP, the dishwasher, of all things, yes, it's connected to the internet. And interestingly enough, you can see some of these IoT devices here, not actually green. They are actually active, but not active. They only request an IP address when they're activated. So again, VigaShield will monitor this and look for any unusual behavior internally. This is the main dashboard. This is live. This really did happen. In fact, I kept going back to HQ and saying, I am really surprised as a home user with fiber that I get so many port scans, brute force attacks externally. This is a live attack. I was getting these every couple of days externally. So this is what VigaShield does. It protects from attacks externally. It protects from nefarious behavior from devices internally, and they're quarantined if anything suspicious is happening. And it does this through learning through AI. And then finally, embedded into VigaShield, we have URL protection. You can do this by user. So if it's a school education environment or a business where you want to lock down particular users' activity, you can do this. You can even set safe browsing low, medium, or high based upon the user that is using the system. So embedded in the routers, available this quarter. It'll be a license, dead straightforward. Once the control panel is activated, you're live and the VigaShield starts learning what the network looks like. So that's it from me for now. Hi, Doris, are you there?
Hi, Peter. Thanks, everyone. I'm Doris, and today I'll be taking you through the DrayTek router portfolio. So DrayTek routers really sit at the heart of the entire product range, and they're built with one goal in mind, and that is to help businesses to stay connected, secure, and operational as their need evolves. So whether you're working with a small business or you're a growing organization or you're a service provider, DrayTek has a router designed to fit your environment. Now, over the next few slides, I will show you how the router portfolio is structured and more importantly, how to quickly match the right router to the right customer scenario. On the screen, you can see the DrayTek router portfolio and how it's structured. So at a high level, it's split into the business class routers and the small home office modem-based routers. The business class range is designed for customers who need higher performance and greater resilience and more flexibility. So these routers are typically will be used in small, medium businesses or businesses with multiple sites and environments where uptime really matters. The Soho modem range focuses on simplicity and cost-effective solution. So these models are ideal for smaller offices or straightforward deployments. You also see in the Soho range the newer models like the Vigo 2136AX, which helps to bridge the gap between the two classes, supporting faster fiber services and improved Wi-Fi performance. So this is particularly useful for customers who are upgrading their connectivity to faster broadband. So the key takeaway here is that with DrayTek, we support customers at every stage. So be that from basic broadband access through to high availability business networks. So let's look at some of the interfaces you find on a DrayTek router. One of the biggest DrayTek biggest strength is flexibility when it comes to connectivity. So customers aren't locked into a single access tech. We've got routers that support DSL, be that ADSL or VDSL connection, got Ethernet and SFP ports for fiber connection, and also there's option for wireless WAN where wired connectivity is not available. Also, on our routers, mobile connectivity plays an important role. We've got routers with inbuilt 4G and 5G options that allow businesses to stay connected should the primary line go down, so they can still get online quickly. Now, from a deployment perspective, the hardware is designed to be practical and easy to work with. So that would help reduce the installation time and also to make troubleshooting more simpler. So overall, this flexibility that you get with DrayTek routers can allow businesses to adapt their connectivity needs. So without having to replace their infrastructure. Now let's look at failover options, which for many businesses today, staying online is not optional. It's very critical. So DrayTek makes this easy to combine multiple connections. For example, you can combine fixed broadband with mobile connectivity, so that if the main connection fails, the traffic will automatically switch the backup line. Very useful for cloud-based applications or voice services or remote access in situations where even short outage can have real business impact. The failover on the router is automatic, so there's no need for manual intervention. So once the primary connection is restored, the router will switch back seamlessly. So what this means is that you get improved business continuity and peace of mind as well. Okay, so now let's look at the DrayTek cellular router range, which includes the Vigo C410AX and the C510AX models. These models are designed for scenario where flexibility and quick deployment is key. The two models are ideal for businesses that rely on mobile connectivity or they need it as a safety net. So these routers support both 5G and 4G connections. We often see them being used in small offices or retail locations or temporary sites. Or locations where fixed broadband isn't always available or reliable. They also come with Wi-Fi 6 on them, so it can ensure stable Wi-Fi performance. Also have a VPN support on them, which can allow access connection back to the head office or cloud systems. Despite their compact size, they're built to deliver strong security, and they're very easy to deploy and manage. So with these two models, you get a reliable, always-on connectivity in a simple, cost-effective package. Okay, so moving on to the DrayTek 5G routers. Here we have the 5G router lineup, which includes model like the Vigo 2927 LX 5G, the Vigo 2865 LX 5G, and the Vigo 2865 L 5G. These routers are aimed at businesses that are ready to take advantage of the high-speed mobile connectivity. They're a great fit for organizations that need fast internet without waiting for fiber, or they may want an additional layer of resilience alongside their existing connections. So where we commonly see them used is in environments like holiday parks or fast-growing businesses where their network requirements can change very quickly. The 5G performance on these models, it makes them very suitable for everyday businesses with high business workloads like video calls or cloud access or large data transfer. They also support multiple WAN connections and also centralized management. So they're fully compatible with Vigo ACS. With these routers, you get both high performance and flexibility, and it just makes them very future-proof. Okay, so next here is the upcoming Vigo 2767 4G AX4G router, which is scheduled for launch in the first quarter of this year, 2026. This router is specially designed for businesses that want a strong all-in-one solution with inbuilt mobile resilience. On the screen is some of the key features that you will find on this particular model. So the 27674 AX4G is built for offices or organizations that need a single device to handle connectivity, security, and remote access. It will work particularly well for businesses that are transitioning to faster 2 gigabit fiber service. It comes with a 2 gigabit Ethernet interface for fiber broadband, so making it compatible for high-speed fiber. It also has VPN functionality on it, which can be used for remote workers or site-to-site connectivity. This router comes with Wi-Fi 6, which will ensure consistent Wi-Fi performance. This model will support the new Vigo Shield threat protection feature that was mentioned earlier on this webinar. It also supports the Doris 5, the new Doris 5 operating system, which is designed for strong performance and tighter security. From an IT perspective, centralized management is supported for this model, so it makes it easier for the IT team to manage it, support from multiple locations. Okay, we also have another upcoming router, the Vigo 2928 router. scheduled for release in Q1 of 2026 this year. This particular router is aimed for businesses that need high-speed connectivity and flexibility to support demanding apps and a fast-growing network environment. On the screen, we've got the key features. It does support a 10 gigabit Ethernet and SFP1 ports, which are switchable between LAN and WAN. It's perfect for organizations that are switching over to 10 gigabit fiber broadband. The flexible port options on it can give your IT team freedom in how they can design and scale the network, so they are not constrained by the router. It also supports centralized management, which makes it very good for organizations with multiple sites. So you can have visibility and control. Overall, this router is really going to be good for removing network bottlenecks, and because it has a multi-WAN option, it's just going to be good for future-proofing your network infrastructure. This will also support the new Vigo Shield feature mentioned earlier on. Here we have the DrayTek Vigo 3912 series, which includes the Vigo 3912 and the 3912S models. So these models are specially designed for organizations that are now outgrowing the traditional business routers, and they need significantly higher performance. So particularly in high traffic or heavy VPN environments. The 3912 series delivers a very noticeable step up in throughput. So this makes it a very strong fit for businesses with large number of users and heavy data flows, or even multiple secure site-to-site and remote VPN environments. One of the key differentiators between the two models is the built-in SSD. So this allows the router to run a traditional Linux-based application directly on the device, such as the Vigo Connect centralized Wi-Fi management platform, or Suricata, an advanced intrusion detection system. So what this means for customers is that they can add more intelligence and security at the network edge without needing separate appliances for this. So overall, the 3912 series offers higher performance, strong VPN capabilities, and added flexibility. So this makes it very ideal for modern performance-based networks that need have high demand for both speed and control. I will now hand over to Peter to walk you through the DrayTek switch portfolio.
Thank you, Doris. Fantastic news about the some of the new products there. I think there were two sneak previews. We had the 2767 4G and the 2928, which is going to make sense as we get into the switches and the access points. So a quick summary slide around switches. Number of features, some of these you would automatically expect, such as power over Ethernet, whether that's power over Ethernet, PoE+, PoE++. We even have some non-PoE versions. And really, the story around switching is around multi-gig. It's about reducing bottlenecks and being able to have a complete solution end-to-end that is going to increase performance and save time on the network. So a lot of conversations around 2.5 gig, the flexibility of the switches, the ability to manage them over ACS, And now, obviously, we can stack the switches. What's the benefit here? It means that if you have 4 switches in a stack, you can manage them as one logical device rather than managing them individually. Recently released PQ1070X. This is multi-gig. It's got 5 ports and it has 2 10-gig SFP uplinks. So this is great. It always reminds me of, at Christmas, there's never enough power sockets to power all the lights that you're putting up around the house and everywhere. There's never enough. This is almost like you could take a feed from your switches in SFP over 10 gig, and then you've got 5 multi-gig PoE ports. It's got no fans, so it's completely silent, so you could plug in IP cameras, access points, and it's got a total power budget of 75 watts. So plenty of power across those 5 ports. PQ2300 released in Q4. You can actually see on the picture there's a small green LED. This indicates that the product can be stacked. So you could have 4 of these in a stack. And again, this is multi-gig. So what have we got? The de facto standard really for switching is based around 2 port densities, 24 port, 48 port from an SMB enterprise perspective. But these are 24 port multi-gig ports on the 2300. So again, it makes it ideal for high bandwidth solutions. We're seeing lots of these products going into AV environments where there is video over IP, there is various control mechanisms. So it makes it a great solution. And with 6 10-gig SFPs on the side, means you can link directly back to your DrayTek switches. New introduction, the next sneak preview, and I said this would make sense with the 2928, which has a SFP plus 10 gig LAN. Again, almost like an extension. You could take your SFP from the 2928, you could put it into the SFP on the 2060, and that's going to give you 4 10 gig Ethernet ports. Again, pretty high budget of 140 watts. It has a smart fan in here, so it's not continually on. It only switches on when it detects that additional is required. And we've got the 2 10 gig SFPs on there. So now we're starting to see this solution coming right through. And there's a key indicator, perfect for a Wi-Fi 7 environment. Let's move into access points and probably the final sneak preview of the day. Very excited about this one. Quick summary. Historically, we've always said Wi-Fi 5, and yes, people still buy Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6, and now Wi-Fi 7. So our total throughputs, when it comes to access points now, if we're looking at Wi-Fi 7, will be 19 gig. All of the devices can run in a number of modes, including standalone, as an extender, or in a mesh. So you have a route, and then you have 7 additional access points. DrayTek produce access points with form, fit, and function. So we don't deploy hundreds of different models with the odd feature set removed here and there. They are for specific purposes. And obviously, all can be powered by PoE and can be managed remotely through DrayTek ACS. Sneak preview, DrayTek, Viger AP1070C BE 19000 Enterprise Access Point. We've been waiting for this one. So this is coming in Q1. What's really interesting about Wi-Fi 7, and being in sales and selling, would you believe, I used to sell wireless N 15 years ago, and I thought that's as fast as we could go. And here we are today with Wi-Fi 7. Obviously, there are various flavors of throughputs with access points. This is pretty high, which is why it's enterprise class. We've got 2 interfaces on there, again, to reduce bottlenecks. We've got 2.5 gigs, so we've got multi-gig. We've also got 10 gig. So this is where I was talking about the new 10 gig port switch. So you could take a feed from the 2928 into this switch and power 4 AP1070s. So you can see the link is coming right through now. And there's a couple of features on here. I mean, Wi-Fi 7 has got lots of features. This is a tri-band access point. So we've got our 2.4 gig as normal, a 5 gig as normal, and a 6 gig, which has got a really wide bandwidth of 320 megs. So that's really going to avoid interference issues. And then we've got two great features on here. Wi-Fi 5 gig and 2.4. You could always go as fast as the activity and the traffic on those particular radios at any one time. What you can do with Wi-Fi 7, your traffic, if I'm a client, can actually be split over 2.4, 5 gig and 6 gig at the same time, which means, again, reducing bottlenecks, improving performance, and I don't have to wait for the AP to deal with what it's doing. All right, on Wi-Fi 6, we have BSS colouring, but this makes a monumental shift from a performance perspective. I said it was tri-band, it's got 3 radios, and it's actually got 4 antennas. So we've got 2.4, 5, 6, and an additional 5 gig antenna. Why would we have that? Zero weight DFS, dynamic frequency selection. Whether you know this or not, certainly on the 5 gig spectrum, if it encounters some interference, once it identifies a new channel, it has to wait. The minimum time to wait is 60 seconds. So what this additional antenna does, it is constantly scanning that frequency, and it creates a list of clear interference-free frequencies. That's where the zero wait comes from. It doesn't have to wait for the wait time of minimum 60 seconds, and in some areas up to 10 minutes before it reactivates. So 4 antenna, tri-band, massive functionality. From an environmental perspective, obviously it's going to work well in corporate offices in a mesh environment. We've got guest Wi-Fi on there. From a retail perspective, from a density perspective, you may not know this, but on average, the rest of our access points can handle 256 clients at any one time. The AP1070 can handle 512 at any one time. So that's why it's ideal for hospitality spaces, high density environments, and we've got 6 gig on there, which helps us with congested environments. Vigra AP905 released recently, replaced the AP903, which have been with us for 7 years. And we've got multiple images here. I really wanted you to see what made this different. So Wi-Fi 6, it can be mounted on the wall of the desk. And just like the 903, we have a 4-port gigabit switch on here. And again, it's multi-gig, so you can connect, again, multi-gig 2.5 gig to the switches or to the routers. And then we have 2 access points, particularly suited to education and care homes, of which we see a lot of. So we have the 962, it's PoE, it's got a gigabit port on there, and you can run multiple SSIDs of the mesh. And within that mesh, you can have up to 8 access points, can be mounted on the wall or the ceiling. Then we have the Big Brother magnesium chassis. This actually has the PoE, but it's also multi-gig. Again, the story going right through the network using multi-gig, removing those bottlenecks. Roaming is present on the other mesh products. For those people that don't know, it means if you've got 7 access points running in the mesh, you can go from one side of the business to the other. You don't have to relog on the access points, hand over to each other. This is really useful. I always asked which access points will run in a mesh with each other. And you see the real differences here between Drayos 4 access points and Drayos 5. So looking at the 905 at the top, obviously works with a 905, a 1062, a 1070, because they're all Drayos 5 products. So this is handy. It's on the website if you care to take a look. And then from a router perspective, apologies, it's rather busy on the router side. It's the one pillar of DrayTek where we do have lots of routers, because again, it's form, fit and function. What's your connectivity? What's the bandwidth that you're looking for? For all those people that had 2765s or 2862s, I can see a lot of people nodding. These would be relevant to your upgrade path. So you can see which routers would work with the access points if the router was the root. And again, on the website, you're going to see this product comparison. It's extremely useful, everything in one place. And we can see we've got the 1070C highlighted there. You can even see the performances by radio and exactly how this stacks up with reference to the rest of the range. Handing back to Doris for the final section, where she's going to talk about central management and DrayTek ACS.
Thanks, Peter. Now let's shift focus to central management. So DrayTek offers several options when it comes to central management. And in the next slides, I will outline the available options and where each one fits best. So DrayTek offers both LAN and cloud-based management option. With LAN-based management option, this is suitable for smaller or more contained environments where the devices are managed locally through the router. For larger or distributed networks, Vigo ACS provides a cloud-based management option, allowing devices to be managed across multiple sites, so they can be monitored and configured through a single interface. So these options give organizations the flexibility to scale their management approach as their network grows. So focusing on the Vigo ACS centralized management, it's a cloud-based management platform which is designed to make your network management simpler and more efficient. Because it's web-based, it can be accessed from anywhere, which is very ideal for managing remote or mobile sites. It can provide you visibility across routers, switches, and access points, helping your IT support teams to troubleshoot faster and maintain consistent configuration across board. So even with devices or routers that behind NAT, such as 4G or 5G routers, they can also be managed centrally, which is a very big advantage for remote deployments. This slide compares the two Vigo ACS options, which are self-hosted premium and the cloud premium, both of which gives you full control and visibility over your network. But the difference is in how you manage them. So with the self-hosted option, this is great if you want everything on your own servers to give you maximum control and say if you wanted to meet any strict security policy. With the cloud premium option, it's ideal for teams that manage multiple sites or remote location. It's going to be managed by us, DrayTek UK. It will let you manage and monitor your devices from anywhere. So either option, either way you go, you get the same powerful features. It's just a matter of whether you prefer in-house control or the convenience of having a cloud option. So let's talk about the ACS SD-WAN feature and some of the benefit it will offer. So rather than simply checking whether a link is up or down, Vigo ACS can really focus on real-time performance, looking at how well each connection is actually working. So this allows the system to make smarter decisions about how to route traffic or how where certain traffic should go, particularly for sensitive applications like voice. So the outcome of this is that you get more consistent performance and a better user experience without you having to manually tune the network. So on the screen, we have the SD-WAN dashboard, which is designed to give an immediate understanding of the network health. So at a glance, you can see whether users are getting a good experience, and you can spot potential issues before they become a big problem. So ACS SD-WAN is designed to help your IT team to stay ahead of issues rather than responding to user complaints. So now, let's talk about how this benefits you. So firstly, you get a proven reliable technology that performs consistently in a real-world environment. Secondly, you benefit from a platform where the hardware and software are designed together. So this allows for the solution to be tailored to real customer needs. And then finally, Vigo ACS brings everything together. So that includes the management, visibility of your network, and the SD-WAN side, which is the intelligent traffic handling. So all of this combined into a single platform. The result you get is that you get better performance and less operational effort, and a network that just simply works. I will now hand over to Peter to summarize and conclude our webinar for today.
Thanks, Doris. It's probably worth noting actually on DrayTek ACS, whether you have 10 devices on ACS or 20,000 devices, it's the same platform, it scales. Hopefully today you've been able to see we really have true end-to-end solutions. The connectivity between the access points, the switches, routers, and all managed by ACS are truly fantastic. Quality of product for those people that already sell DrayTek, you know this about us. Reliability is a key pillar to everything that we do at DrayTek, and we have no hardware licensing fees. The only licenses for DrayTek ACS or one of the additional security products which comes inbuilt into the devices. Just to make you aware, we have an updated partner program. So obviously we have the DrayTek portal, and for those people that have managed to log in recently and take a look at how we've improved partner benefits, we now have priority technical support through the portal, and the SLA on this is 2 business hours. So definitely a step in the right direction. From a customer registration perspective and customer value, for all those new partners that register for the portal, and this is per company, we will reward you with 10 VigoCare codes, which is the extended warranty. If you subscribe to the newsletter, it's 5. And if you've actually deployed for a customer DrayTek solution, please reach out to us and there will be 20 VigoCare codes attached to this case study. So the message is register on the dealer portal, engage with the forum community, which is very active. All our technical engineers are based in the UK and Ireland. You will be speaking to DrayTek, it's not a third party. Doris is one of our solutions architects, but we also have other channel account managers, BDMs in the team that you can engage with. Obviously, we've got firmware updates, so get yourself subscribed to those newsletters and follow us on LinkedIn. Final offer of the day, please use your camera, take a picture of this. It will redirect you to a form to fill in. For everybody that registers and has a demonstration of DrayTek Vigo ACS remote management, we will be giving you 10 free VigoCare codes. So that's 10 free extended warranties for your products. So now we're moving to the live Q&A section. I think we're slightly over the 45 minutes, but I did think we did rather well given the amount of information that we shared with you today. Alex, are you there?
Oh, hi Peter, Doris, hello everyone. Thank you all for your questions. So as Peter said, yeah, we should have a bit of opportunity to just run through some questions now. So thank you all for asking all your questions in the chat. You're welcome to add more in now, but we'll start off with some of the more popular questions that have come in, and I'll ask some of those, and our presenters will have some answers for you. The first question, I mean, there's a lot. Which area do we start with? The first question was around actually Drayos 5. The question around that was that with the new products at Drayos 5, the question is whether or not the existing models, for example, the 2865 or the 2927, will those ones be updated to support Drayos 5?
Hi, Alex. Yeah, so the existing models like the 2927, which other model was mentioned?
The Drayos 4 ones to 2865.
Yeah, those will not get Drayos 5. Drayos 5 requires a new hardware, so that will only come on new models. If that answers the question.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you. Yes, the Drayos 5 is a 64-bit OS, and the platform for the older models is 32-bit, so it's not really going to be feasible for us to do any updates of them. You might find you're already using a Drayos 5 model actually, because we've had a few launched already. The 2136 we covered here, but also the C410 and C510 and the Vigor 167 are already Drayos 5 products that we've had around for a little bit of time now as well. And the next question was around looking at this, there's a few different questions. So the Vigor Shield, there's a few people kind of asked which product will the Vigor Shield Sentry be available on kind of initially?
Okay, so that will be available on the 2136AX, which was released in January last year, so it's been around a little while, and it will be on the 2767 non-wireless and 2767 Wi-Fi 6, both of which were released in Q4, and around that family there will be more products to add in time on the Sentry product.
Thank you. And another question is that going to be an included function, or is it something that's going to need a a license update like the existing content filtering?
Yeah, so the actual application is embedded within the router, and you're quite right, it will be a license driven application, so it's there, it's inbuilt, just like URL filtering, just needs switching on.
And yeah, you need to then, it would be activated in the same way with the MyVigor system. So if anyone's seen the activation process for the MyVigor with the filtering or with Dray DDNS, it's going to be the same sort of thing with a license key that people will be able to obtain and purchase. And I think it will be a 1-year license per each one. Thank you. And with the new products, there was a question around mesh compatibility. I don't know whether or not Doris can go back to the mesh compatibility list just for people so that we can just, yeah. Do you want to, Doris, just
is that on routers or?
Yeah, the question was on routers to ask which routers are compatible. But what I'll do is I'm going to post to the chat a link to people. But the link doesn't have the AP 1070C on it, so it would be good to just cover which
on
route.
The screen. Yeah. We've got the 1070C access points, which is compatible with the Drayos 5 routers, such as we have on the screen, the 2136AX and the 2767AX and the C410X and C510X router.
Thank you. And
So
then maybe just briefly go to the APs again, just to show that, because there are quite a few questions around the compatibility there. So yeah, as you can see, the 1070C is compatible with all of the kind of new current models. They're all actually, I believe, running. I think all of them are running Drayos 5 as well, actually, already. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So it's compatible with all the Drayos 5 access points, and it will mesh with itself as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you. And moving on to the another question about the Vigo AP 1060C. There's just questions about what the kind of standard was on the numbers. Just I'll repeat that for everyone's benefits. It's BE 19,000, which is kind of an extra digit on, because we're used to things like AX 3000. And what that means in practice is it's 1.3 gig on the 2.4 gigahertz band, 5.7 gig on the 5 gigahertz band, and then a physical rate of 11 gig on the 6 gigahertz band. Now, you won't be able to get that as an actual download speed. That's the physical rate. So the actual speeds will depend on the client and the signal strength and things. So rule of thumb is I would have expected at least half that when it comes to the actual kind of physical download rates. But yeah, it's very, very capable, and that's 6 gigahertz bandwidth there for devices that support that will really enable very, very fast speeds, which is great. Quite exciting to see how that will push it. And although it's 19 gig in theory, the 10 gigabit Ethernet port is definitely adequate for the sort of switching that you typically see. That's why it just needs a single 10 gigabit Ethernet port. That's not really going to be a bottleneck in real world scenarios. So that's you just need the single 10 gigabit Ethernet port on there of course, connecting it to a 10 gig switch is going to be an important consideration. Questions around the webinar. So there was a question about if the copies of the recording would be available later.
Yes, this is correct. So the session has been recorded, and we'll be publishing that to the portal and our usual channels.
Great, yeah, thank you. It's probably typically it'll be a day or two afterwards that we would present that.
Yeah.
Another question was around the kind of rough pricing. So the 2136AX, that's price question about what's roughly the kind of suggested retail prices for that model.
It varies. Products are advertised invariably at different price points based upon the value that you're getting from the partner that you're purchasing for. Alex, you would be probably closer to the SRP.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, so the 2136X SRP wise is about 179, but it'll depend a lot for people. So if you are buying them for trade and you've got volumes, then do speak to your suppliers and they'll be able to confirm pricing, because there's some decent discounts compared to the SRP that you can have in practice for IT installers. Another question is about the 2928. So I know we had that non-wireless one. The question was what Wi-Fi will be on the 2928. Will it have a Wi-Fi variant?
Yes, so that will be coming with Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah, that will be the predictably named 2928BE. Will be the kind of the SKU. We keep it simple when it comes to things. And question, I think there was a question here about PoE switches, which the answers would be, will there be a 10 gig PoE switch? I know we've shown some of the things, but yeah, there is going to be PoE on the 10 gig coming in time. Not currently out in the range, but you can expect to see switches that will accommodate these range of Wi-Fi 7 APs. So I think that, we've got a few other questions, but what we'll do is we'll always send a follow-up email where we'll include some answers to your questions, and also if we haven't been able to get to your question directly, we would be emailing you directly, so you can see an email from info@draytek.co.uk later today, so you should get a direct contact on that. But I'll hand over to Peter just to do a summary, because I realise we're at 11 o'clock now.
Thanks, Alex. And yes, there's quite a few questions coming in, so we'll follow up on those. So I'd just like to thank you for your time today. Hopefully the sneak peeks that we've given you has given you food for thought. We are here as a team to support the channel and our end customers. So please reach out if you want to look at some of the products in more detail. And you've got the 2 QR codes which will automatically take you to a form where you can request a demonstration. And obviously on the DrayTek ACS, there's an incentive in there, as is the FIGA portal registration. So once again, thank you. Have a great day.